Here is something nobody told you when you were growing up. The reason you cry more easily than other people isn't because something is wrong with you. It's because something in your brain is working at a higher frequency than most people ever reach. And once you understand what that actually means, the way you see yourself changes completely. You already know the moments. A stranger does something unexpectedly kind, and your eyes fill before your mind has time to react. A piece of music hits a certain note, and something tightens in your chest. You watch someone across the room trying to hold themselves together, and you feel it before they've said a single word. And then comes the familiar wave of embarrassment. Because you've been told, in ways both loud and quiet, that this response means something unflattering about you. That you are too sensitive, too emotional. That you feel too much and hold on too long and need to toughen up. Most people who cry easily have spent years apologizing for it, hiding it, excusing it, framing it as a flaw before anyone else gets the chance to. But here is what the apology was never necessary for. Psychologists spent decades studying what they called the highly sensitive person, a documented neurological trait present in roughly 1 in 5 people. Not a disorder, not a diagnosis, a trait. These individuals don't cry easily because their emotional regulation is weak. They cry easily because their nervous system is doing something fundamentally different from the moment a feeling enters the room. Their brains process emotional information more completely, more deeply, and critically, for longer. That last part is the piece most people never hear. Here is what is actually happening inside you. Neuroimaging research shows that highly sensitive people demonstrate significantly stronger activation in 2 specific brain regions, the insula and the mirror neuron system. The insula is the brain's emotional registrar. It converts what you observe into something you physically feel. The mirror neuron system is what causes you to flinch when someone else gets hurt, to feel a lump in your throat when someone across the room is trying not to cry. In most people, these systems respond and then quiet down. The emotional signal arrives, gets processed, and fades within minutes. In you, the signal doesn't fade that quickly. It lingers. It processes deeper. And while that can feel exhausting, it is also the exact mechanism behind something most people genuinely cannot do. You read emotional subtext automatically. You notice the tension in someone's voice before they've acknowledged it themselves. The smile that doesn't reach the eyes. The moment a room shifts before anyone else has registered the change. Understanding this changes 3 things immediately. First, stop treating your tears as a malfunction. When your nervous system produces an emotional response, it is completing a cycle it needs to finish. Research shows emotional tears contain measurably elevated stress hormones, including cortisol. Crying is, in part, how your body physically expels the biochemical residue of emotional overload. You are not falling apart. You are regulating. Second, recognize what your sensitivity actually gives you. The same neural wiring that makes you cry at a film scene no one else reacted to is the same wiring that makes you exceptional at reading people, at genuine empathy, at noticing what is underneath what someone is actually saying. These are not separate traits. They come from the same source. Third, understand the difference between feeling deeply and being controlled by it. Sensitivity is not the same as instability. The goal is not to feel less. The goal is to stop being ashamed of how much you feel and to start directing that capacity with intention rather than spending it on apology.
The strongest people in any room are not always the ones who never flinch. Sometimes the strongest person is the one who still allows themselves to feel it, who hasn't traded their depth for the appearance of control. You have been misread. Not because you were too much, but because most people were working with too little to understand what they were looking at. Your tears are not a weakness wearing the wrong label. They are proof that you are still paying attention.
If this changed the way you see yourself, share it with someone who needs to hear it too. Hit like if it hit something real. Subscribe for more psychology that explains the parts of you nobody ever bothered to decode. And drop a comment. Do you think crying easily is weakness or something else entirely? Take care of yourselves.